Hey everybody, coming at you from out in the woods. Now, today's video is going to be full of odds and ends and little tips and tricks and things that fit nowhere else. Okay, I'm working on perfecting my swamp shelter, and then I'm working on a stealth bivy sack called a drag bag. And it's a stealth concept for a bivy sack. But anyway, neither of those are done. And so I got to thinking all these little odds and ends were piling up everywhere about questions from viewers and comments from viewers and things I've seen on forums and stuff like that. So this video is just going to be full of little odds and ends and things, from chairs to tables to bungee cords to tent pegs to a bicycle rack, and there may be a few more things. I've got everything in my backpack that we're going to go over. And an improvement on my Bushcraft shelves that came from a commenter. And it worked. I can't remember your name. I wished I could. But anyway, so let's get going. This is just going to be a whole bunch of tidbits of small information, all right? So sit back and grab some coffee or hot chocolate or tea and enjoy it. For those of you that travel by bicycle and you don't have like a trailer like I've been experimenting with, there's a good old bicycle rack. Okay, now I know a couple of tips for getting the most out of your bicycle rack. Now this thing, when you buy it, this is one from Amazon, but you can get them anywhere. It clamps to this post and then comes back, and then it's supposed to, it comes with this, which is a piece of trash. This is absolute junk, because you put rubber on this thing and it's supposed to grip right on here, and then this goes up to here at an angle like that, and you're supposed to be able to tighten up this screw and support the weight. This is absolute garbage. This does not work. So what I did is I took a piece of stainless steel tubing right here, and I smashed each end flat and drilled a hole in it, and I've got it where it's mounted. I drilled an extra hole and it's mounted from here to here solid. So there's no adjustment screw here to slide up and down. And then I painted it black. Okay. But anyway, that right there is the big improvement I made to that, because these things are absolute trash. Now let's get on to the part about how I mount my backpack to this thing. If your mountain bike is like this, it has no rear fender, and most of them don't have rear fenders. Therefore, if you take your backpack or bag or whatever and you mount it to this thing, okay, and you mount it to this thing, you're going to sling mud all over it. All right. So one of the cures for that is to take a piece of either plexiglass or some kind of aluminium, or maybe even a thin piece of cardboard, but I like plexiglass, because this thing right here, what you do is you set it on here just like that, and it kind of protects your pack from the mud. Now it can be a lot bigger than this. This just happens to be the size that fits into one of my backpacks that doesn't have a frame, and this will slide into the back compartment and it stiffens up my backpack. But this also doubles as a table once you get to camp, so I'm going to show you that. So all you do is you just set it on, put your backpack on, and then you bungee it on. Now, while we're talking about bungees, long-time viewers know about these, but what these are is I have a variety of bungees that I use for different chores for camping. And people ask about the way these cool looking sleeves. Well, the thing is, I buy these bungees that have the carabiners on the end. That way they don't slip off. They're secure. And the reason I put these on is because I attach so many things to trees that what I do is I make these cloth sleeves, and then I just hot glue them on the ends right here. And what they do is that they protect the main enemy of bungee cords is sunlight. Sunlight degrades them, and tree bark causes snags. So I just make these cloth sleeves, and they're more heavy duty, and they last longer, and when they wear out I'll just make new ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up under here. Let me move this one. We're going to go up under here, give it a stretch, clip it on. We're going to go up under here, give it a stretch, and put it on. Alright? Give it a little bit of a wiggle. Doesn't seem too bad. So let's go for a ride now. Let's pick a spot to get all our stuff out here and look at our other tips and tricks. Alright, so let's go up here into the woods and we're going to find a place to set up a bungee cord seat. And we're going to set this up as a table. Now the other cool thing about having some bungees is you can strap your pack to a tree. Look for 2 trees. Now, instead of having your backpack on the ground, you can just strap it to the trees. You can either strap it on the hook, but I generally don't like to do that because it puts a lot of pressure on it. What I'll do is I'll just strap it by the straps. See, just like that. Now you're hanging from a tree and you're not sitting on the wet, muddy ground. Alright, now, the next thing we're going to talk about is big bungees, okay? Now with big bungees, we're going to use that in a minute. Put that up there. Now with big bungees, what you can do, you can buy bungee by the foot, and then you can buy the ends, and you can make your own bungee cords. And so these are great for pretty much anything. You can make a bed out of these. You can make a seat. They're great for ridge lines because sometimes when you have a ridge line for a tarp, if the wind blows, you know, if your ridge line is too rigid, then it could rip your tarp. But if you've got one that's bungee that gives, then the wind will blow and it's allowed to give and it won't rip. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a place to make a seat out of one of these. And what you need is 3 trees, and I think I see some right over there. And then we're going to convert our plexiglass into a table for our seat. Alright, so we got 3 trees right here, and these things have got to be wide enough so that your hips will fit in between them just like this. And now what you want to do is just take the bungee cord. Let's find the end of it. You just want to start wrapping it around the tree. So let's go with about right there. Probably about that high. So just go all the way around it. Around the outside. Like that. Alright. Now what you want to do, let me pull you in a little bit closer. Now what you want to do is you want to go inside and around. Just go over here, go inside and around. And you're just making a maze. Now let's see, I'm gonna have to come over here and see how I'm just crisscrossing everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason to it. See, this is what it looks like. You just got a pile of bungee cords here about 3 to 4 inches deep, and when you set on them, they're just going to give. So let's back this up a little bit. Let's see how it looks. Alright, so let's see how this thing's going to work. See? And I can actually put an extra, I've got 3 more, I got 100 feet. And this is holding me up no problem. But I'm going to put 1 more cord on there for extra support. The way I keep these separated from being all tangled up is I have pieces of cardboard. I have them in this net bag, and I have pieces of cardboard in between them to keep them separated. Keeps them from getting tangled up. And see, I've got 100 feet here. And so you can wrap these around. For those of you that saw my last video about the ultimate kitchen, you can take 2 poles and put them between trees and just wrap these all around them, and it makes an incredible bed. So I'm going to put an extra one on here. Go around here. Alright, there's 2 cords, and then I've got 2 more in that net. Let's try it again. Might have got a little bit too high. There we go. I can't get this thing down enough. Alright, my feet are off the ground. It's holding me up. Let's back it up a little bit and get another view of that. As soon as we got another view of this thing, what we're going to do is I'm going to make a table. See, that ain't bad at all. It beats sitting on the ground. So now, let's take that piece of plexiglass and I'm going to show you how to cut 4 legs to make them fit for a table. Alright, so you got 4 legs. And what you do is you saw them off, saw them halfway, and then baton them. That way you can carve these edges to make them a tight fit. So, you got your table, and what they do is they sit in there, and see, they'll sit on that half a ledge, just like that. Now the tighter they are, the better off they are. Some of these I got them pretty tight. Now that's not too tight. Yeah, that ain't bad. Now sometimes it helps to sharpen the bottom of them. There, that's pretty tight. Sometimes it helps to sharpen the bottom so that you can stab it in the ground. So once you got all 4 of the legs stuck in the holes here, you got a freestanding table. Isn't that cool? So you can just sit there in your chair at your table. See, it makes a real nice place to sit down and eat while you're out in the woods. And all you need is the bungee cords and then that plexiglass that you used anyway to protect your pack on your bicycle rack. Oh, one other trick I'm going to show real quick while I'm thinking about it. One person asked about this one time, but I guarantee you this affects a lot of people. So, tent pegs and a tent peg bag, okay? Somebody had asked one time, they said, how do you reinforce the bottom of these bags? Because these are lightweight bags for these lightweight backpacker tents. They always get holes in them, because if you put them together and put them in, they'll fall to the bottom and eventually cut holes, and if you put them in upside down, they'll poke holes here. Well, there's a trick for that. Let me show you. This is not how you store your tent pegs, okay? The way you do it is you'll take half of them, look, you turn them around, okay? Put on your rubber band here. See, I think this will help everybody. Put on the rubber band. Put on 2 heavy rubber bands. Alright, now look, see? You have mostly radius on this end and mostly radius on this end. Isn't that cool? So see, now what you can do is these little bitty thin bags. This is from an REI tent. You just drop them in and that radius is not gonna, you're not gonna be poking a hole in your bag. Isn't that cool? And then you just tie it off. Alright, now for the next thing, I have 2 friends up in Canada, and they run a podcast called Atlantic Bushcraft Adventures. And we were talking one day about seats, alright? And I had mentioned to them about one of the easiest seats that you can carry is an exercise ball. And so they were like, really? I never thought about that. So what it is it's an exercise ball, and there's 3 different modes of using it. And the one mode, this is very, very, very thick, but it's kind of not that heavy. But this thing right here, this is this comes from Amazon. It's the 65 centimeter diameter. There's 4 or 5 different diameters. I like the 65 millimeter, but for the first mode, you pump this up about 1/4 full, and then the second one, you pump it up about half full, maybe 3/4, And then for the final one, you just pump it up all the way. All right. Now these things are cool. They have a little peg inside them. You kind of push that peg up until you can grab it and it pops out like that. Now the way these things pump up is it comes with a little lightweight. I mean, this weighs almost nothing. And the way this works is you can step it, you can, hold on. It's a bellows, and then you put, how's this piece of junk? Oh, it goes in this ways. The other end I think is to deflate. And then you slide this end in here like that. And then that's how you pump this up. You can either step on it on the ground or just set it against a tree. Alright, so once you've got this thing pumped up probably about halfway, half full, then what you can do with it is you just set it on the ground against a tree, and then you just sort of lean back. And what you want to do is you want the air to kind of go forward. So pull that forward. You have to kind of dig your heels in, just like that. Lap of luxury, and you ain't sitting on the wet ground. You can also sit on it freestyle, not leaned against a tree, but it'll kind of roll to the side, so you have to kind of cross your legs to support yourself. See, when you sit on it, kind of rolls around like that. But if you cross your legs, you support yourself. You can just sit here like this. You know, you could have your coffee cup right here, have your food in front of you, have your food all around you, and just sit here and drink coffee and just kind of look around. So about halfway inflated works. Now we're going to go 3/4 inflated. All right. A lot of you, no matter if you're a camper, or a bushcrafter, or a survivalist, you're going to love this little trick. But whenever you're in a tent or on your tarp or under your tarp or whatever, you're sleeping, laying around, relaxing, whatever, some people don't like to lay down flat, and some like to have a little bit of support. So we'll get you a exercise ball 3/4 full. Now you'll have to play with this to figure out what you like and what works, but for me, I like 3/4 full. But you just put it on there, and when you go to lay down, see, that is perfect. You can move your head around, you can adjust it if you want to, pull it forward a little bit. There you go. Now that's perfect right there. That's what I like. If I'm just out here and I got my coffee sitting here and I'm just drinking coffee and enjoying the woods, you just lay like this right here on your medicine ball, well, exercise ball. You can look up at the stars, roll it back a little bit more, lay your head on it now. Perfect. Now for the final scene on the ball, you just pump it up all the way and just sit on it. Nothing to it. Comfy. Comfy and very easy to get on and off. The other one, sometimes depending on the spacing of the trees, sometimes you can use it fully blown up, and then other times you got a little bit of air out of it. But what you can do, like I said, it depends on the spacing of the trees, is you can take the ball shove it down between the trees, and then just sit on it. You have to lift yourself up in there. Well, having a machete on don't help. There you go. And so you can sit in between the trees just like this. It usually helps though. It usually helps if the trees are spaced a little more apart and you've got the ball full inflated, but you get the idea. The only other 3 trees around here I used for the bungees. Alright, oh, one other thing, okay? Those that watch my channel already know this, but this is to refer to some comments for people that don't always, that are new to this, okay? So, let's take a look at my machete here. A couple of things I want to go over that people wonder about. Don't attach, usually you have your machete on your pack. You don't hike with it, but then when you get to camp, you take it off your pack and put it on your belt. You don't put your knife and your machete on your belt at the same time. You either wear your machete or you wear a neck knife. Or you do like me, that I've done for 30 years, attach your knife to your machete, all right? So that way you have it on your belt, okay? And if you have a lanyard, don't let the lanyard just kind of flop around. Put your lanyard in there, in a snap, so that it's not hanging loose, snagging on stuff while you're hiking. Now the idea behind a lanyard is you're going to have to make it fit your hand. But the idea behind it is you turn the blade around backwards, okay, where it's on your thumb, and then you lift the machete up and roll it, and see, that locks it in. See how it's around right there? That way you ain't got to necessarily have the death grip on your machete. It's kind of in there, okay? And you can also impress your friends when you get fast with it like that. Because what you do is, you know, and you can have your hands free. You can be messing with something and then flick that thing up and then do some cutting, and then let it down, flick it up, do some cutting. Now the other thing I want to show you is on your machete sheath, okay? Always have your fire kit in your pack, okay? Always keep your fire kit. All right, now see, look, right there, watch this. Look, I've just locked it in. Isn't that cool? See, that way I ain't got to worry about this snagging on nothing. Alright, you got, this is like a survival kit if you get separated from everything but this, because you have a machete, you have a knife. Always keep some paracord on here. You got a little sharpener here, and then you got a ferro rod. Now, the thing about keeping a ferro rod on your machete sheath is never use it. It's there for an emergency. It's a backup, it's an extra, don't use it. Use the ferro rod or the lighter in your kit. Okay, now, like I said, people that watch my channel, they know a lot of this. They've seen me do this a million times. But for you beginners, you know, some people ask questions, but that's it. Machete, knife, cover it with paracord, have some kind of sharpener, have a lanyard for your safety, and then have a ferro rod on it that you never use. Alright? Cool? Alright, let's move on to the last thing I have. I think I've only got one thing left. Alright? Y'all having fun so far? Wait, turns out I have 2 things left to show. Now, for those of you that regularly watch my videos, this is my little homemade shelf design. And I set it up for the first time and it worked okay, but a viewer come up with an idea that is incredible. And I made the part, and I haven't tried it yet, and we're fixing to try it now on camera, okay? All right. So these are my shelves. Nobody likes setting stuff on the ground, all right? Now, the main reason that I develop these kind of things is for my use in the swamps. Like I'll kayak in, and you know, there's no place to put anything. So what these are is there's 2 pieces here. All right. You may have seen it before, but for those of you that haven't seen it, you're going to enjoy the improvement. Anyway, it's a bent piece of aluminum scrap. It's bent on each side, and it slides in right here. And this is like an M-shaped piece of wire. So, what you do, okay, find you a tree. You stretch that bungee cord around, and you grab that M shape just like that. And see how that thing's flopping around everywhere? All right. You grab the next one just like that. Put your bungee cord on it. Run that around. And stretch it on. All right. Now, these things are meant to go on here. Just like that. Okay, but they fall. All right. So when they fall like that, you have to put a tree limb underneath here to help support them, and another tree limb under here. Well, somebody came up with a brilliant idea of making, ta-da, how about that? And what you do with this thing is you run this up inside here. Now, I haven't even tried it yet. This is the first time for me. Let's see, does that go there? Nope. See, that ain't gonna be how that goes. It's gonna be under there, like that, and this will be under here. All right, so what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna bungee this to the tree. Oh, let's see. Well, hold on. I got to go get one of my longer bungees because these are stopping here, and I need one to go completely around the tree. So let me cut the camera off, and I'll go get the bungees and put them on. Luckily, I had the other bungees holding up my pack, so this is a good learning experience. So let's put these two bungees on. Just like that. Now let's see how this does. See, this is connected to this, and hopefully that'll help support it. So slide that up. Let's see, this thing, it takes a little bit of adjusting and moving around. Let's see, let's pick this side up. Look at that. This part, as long as it don't slide down, it seems to be holding. That's awesome. Let's pile some stuff on it and see if it holds it up. Let's see how this does. That is spectacular. This is fantastic. I love it. See? And now whenever you're like, you know, out in a swamp or wherever, you need a couple of shelves, these are great. I love this. Whoever you was, tell me in the comments. I can't remember your name. I was going to try to write it down, but it slipped me. But this is a great idea. He said just bend a square rod. And that is just, that is fantastic. Thank you. So now we're going to move to the final part of this episode. People that know me and know my channel know I love a place called the Bargain Bin. And there's several different bargain bins, and online there's a place called Bargain Bin Locator where they're at different states. Now what it is Amazon they charge such astronomical prices for everything that they don't have time to go through returns, lost items, broken items, all that kind of stuff, because they make enough profit off their regular products. So what they do is everything that is returned or labeled wrong or broken or got missing parts, they put them in these big bins, cardboard bins, and they sell them to these companies that are called bargain bins. And I think the first day each item is between $5 to $10, and then the second day it's $3 to $5, and then the third day it's like $2 day, and then a $1 day, and then some of them have 50-cent day. Well, I got this. This is a Volk Go stroller bag. And what this is, I got this for 50 cents. I got it on 50-cent day. And it is unopened, and I'm going to open it on video. And I looked it up when I got it for 50 cents. A lot of times I'll buy these things that are made out of this heavy Cordura because I'll use the fabric, you know, for whatever. So that's why I bought this. Anyway, I got it home. I always look on Amazon to see what it is, and it turns out this is a giant bag with straps for carrying a stroller. You can either, like, if you're going to carry your stroller and package it away at a baseball game, or if you're going to carry it to the airport and carry it on the airline, or if you just want to carry your stroller instead of, if the kid wants to walk and you don't want to push a stroller, you put it in this, and this is like a giant backpack. Okay, so, oh, the bag is built into it. Now, The reason I like this thing is because I was thinking, man, if I can get this thing undone, I was thinking, I hope this is what this is. Oh man, this is going to be hard to package back up. Now what I was thinking is, see, sometimes I will bring what is called a Kohansky survival scarf, or sometimes I'll carry a garbage bag, and I'll fill the garbage bag up with leaves. Well, I got to thinking, with this thing right here, I could use this since it's got straps. Look at that. See? It's actually got backpack straps. I was thinking what I could do is I could carry this. I could go around wherever I'm traveling to where, like if I get to a campsite and I want to fill my mattress up with grass or leaves, I can use this and I can go to wherever there's dry leaves or grass. I can take my machete and chop grass and say I can fill this big bag up with grass and carry it with me. Isn't that cool? Well, I also got to wondering, could this be a survival bag? Is it possible? Could it be? But it doesn't have a zipper. No, it doesn't have a zipper. What it's got a drawstring at the top. See, I was wondering if you could turn this inside out and then crawl into it. You know, like if it was sure enough really bad wind and rain and everything. But then again, I guess if it was bad enough and the wind was socking you and soaking you, you could pull it over your head. Boy, that'd be hot in there. Or I wonder, let's try one of these.
Got bad enough. Could you crawl inside?
And squat down. I'd hate to do that with it raining. And can you cinch it up around your neck? Now, if you had a wide brimmed hat, or maybe if you had some kind of hood, I might could see this. Yeah, I guess if you had to, you know, for 50 cents this ain't bad, but I wouldn't pay 31 bucks for it. But anyway,
That's a very heavy bag. Very, very heavy.
so there's no way I would pay $31 for a bag like this. But I guess when you're at home, it'd be good to use it for, you could put all your sleeping bags in it, your camp gear in it, keep it from getting dusty, spiders and things. Like I said, I like it for collecting grass because of this backpack situation. Fill it up with grass. Anyway, that's just a little something stupid that I wanted to add at the end of the video. All these other little tips and tricks and things. Anytime you ever ask anything or comment anything or have a question that I can't explain in the comment section, I do write it down or I remember it, and it winds up in a video like this. So, hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed it. That about wraps it up. So, until next time, we shall. Wait a minute, one more thing. Get out, enjoy life. Don't let no drama drag you down. Don't worry about the rest of the world. Everything will be okay. You worry about you, okay, and your sanity. So get out and enjoy the woods. And enjoy your time, enjoy your family while you can. And we shall. See you in the next one. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. Your tent, your tarp, your bivy sack are all waterproof, okay? But if they're bright yellow, bright orange, bright blue, and you want to camo them up, anything camo will be good on top. Even a camouflage bed sheet. Doesn't matter if it gets wet. Your tent, your tarp, your bivy is waterproof. Think about that. We shall. See you in the next one.